Putting together the Smart Woodshop Christmas list has been a lot of fun. I challenged myself this year by setting some pretty hard stops, some parameters. I wanted to choose only tools that I use, tools that I find that on a regular basis I'm reaching for them, and if I didn't have any one of them, I would replace them almost immediately. I also limited myself to $100 each. It had to be $100 or less. I wanted it to be budget friendly. Auto loader screwdriver. This tool here I've had for 2 decades maybe. A friend of mine, a client at the time, I built 2 houses for, custom homes at their personal homes. And he bought me this as a gift. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I bought another one and another one and another one. It's just an auto loader screwdriver. I have not found a better one ever, and I still have tons of different ones. This is the one that I put in my apron, in my nail bag. It's in my bench. This is the one that I use. It has 6 tips. I don't have to open anything up and put one in. It's an auto loader, so there's 6 bits. I pull this back. I can see the bits. There's an arrow right on the handle where this little button is. I turn it to the one I want and push it out. It comes with 3 Phillips bits and 3 flat bits. I loaded 6 different tips in different ones. So this one has 6 different size of Torx, which I use a lot. And it's so easy to change them out. You just pull out the tip, put the next one out, pull that out, and then grab out your 6 tips of whatever you want to load it with and just load them in one at a time. Fast cap. This is a chisel. It's, I'm sure you can sharpen them and make any chisel a fine chisel for fine woodworking. I have a nice set of chisels. I hardly ever use them, but this chisel is the one I use all the time. I keep it in my bag. It happens to be a 3/4 and it's foldable. I just find this to be so handy. I keep it in my nail apron. I keep it on the bench. It's just one that I just use and flip out. And to keep it sharp, I just got one of those little dry stones and I just clean it up every now and then. This replaced an old Stanley that I always kept in my nail bags forever. It's the size I like. Now you can get this in a variety of sizes, 1/4 to I think 1 inch, but this is the one size that I always use. They do have a kit with all the sizes and some other things, but it's just over $100, so it didn't make the list. And again, this is the one I grab and use, and I've even thought about ordering just a couple more of these so that I can have these spread around. Auto loader screwdriver is $32, and the chisel is $24.98. So well within the $100 budget. By the way, before I forget, at thesmartwoodshop.com, I'll put a link in the video down below. Chris has put the list together with pictures and links so you can go right to them. Any of the links on Amazon are affiliate links. So Amazon will pay us a little bit. If you buy them there, won't charge you any extra. Supports the channel, but it doesn't matter what tool I chose if it's on Amazon. So none of these brands influenced my choice. I wanted to pick a tool that I would like to receive as a Christmas gift. And so there was no influence. Now, a couple of the tools are from TSO. They're also affiliate links. They do compensate us if you buy the tool, directly. So you could say that, I'm getting paid to put that tool, but that's not how I decided this. These were real things that I'm using every day and meet my criteria, and I did it to make a good Christmas list. If you don't want to use the affiliate links, then just go to TSO, go to Amazon, and look at my list, and just go on directly and search, and you'll find them, and then there'll be no affiliates, commissions paid to us. This is really about the list for the woodworker in your life that you're shopping for. Next, I'm going to jump to an app. That's right, an app. Now, obviously, I don't have any affiliate link for this, but I'm going to have the link. It'll be on the Christmas list. It is the Construction Master Calculator. That's right. I have had this thing for years, and there it is. I used to buy these things at over $100 a piece. I had 4 or 5 of them at any given time in the trailer, in the truck, in my bag, broke them, and they weren't as functional as this one. This does more. It has graphs. I mean, figuring out rafters, figuring out stair, rise and run, figuring out inch to millimeter conversion, weights, all of that stuff. I use this calculator it's my main go-to even for non-construction stuff. This calculator isn't cheap. It is a subscription annual of $39.99, $40 a year. But I'll tell you, I've had some other ones that were less money and some free ones. This is the industry standard, and if you're into woodworking, you're gonna get your money worth out of it. So it's not cheap, but it's great value, and it's well under $100. You can download it and try it out. The Power Lock from TSO. This is a wonderful tool designed by David Reisinger, one of the Smart Woodshop fam, now produced by TSO. This is designed specifically to hold together the parts and pieces of the Smart Woodshop bench system. So the extensions, the router table, the crosscut. This is the thing you need. These, again, are from TSO. They are a gorgeous piece, all stainless steel, beautifully made and easy to use. And they are $32.95 a piece. Spring nail set. Again, one of those tools I've had in my bag for years and years. Learned this from a painter. And in the old days, I would use multiple nail sets, pull out the right size, and use my finish hammer to tap them in. Invariably, the punch every now and then would slide off, create a little bit bigger hole. Not a big deal, but never happens with this. You just put it right on the nail head, your trim, whatever you're doing. You get a finished nail. Sometimes they just don't set enough, and you got to set them a little bit more. Take this, taps it right in. Never going to miss, never going to cause any damage. One side's a little bigger, one side's a little smaller. In fact, the set that I have on the list is a 2-piece set. So you got 4 different sizes, and the whole set is $14.99. The Smart Wood Shop is a router shop. I picked out 3 router bits that I have been using, 2 of them quite a bit lately. The first one is this for cutting the T-slots, like on the router fence, on the miter extension, on the crosscut, all of that. I cut my own T-tracks because I don't like the metal ones. They're hard to get to the right length. You get them in shorts, you got to butt them together. Trying to do your dado and get them to firmly, I just don't like them. I want to make my own. And the cool thing about this one, it's different than the other one that I've shown you, is it creates a much larger one, and you can now use it to put these clamps in. It's got, not only does it cut the T-track itself, but it also cuts a little bit, a 30-degree bevel on the underside, and it cuts the channel all in one pass. I made a video showing you how I use this, and that video it's not been released yet, but it's already made, and it'll be released in the next month or 2, and I'm showing exactly how I use this. I've been using this a lot. From Whiteside, it's 7378. It's a high quality bit, all solid carbide, and it's a 1/2-inch shank. Great value. And again, 7378. The next bit is this miter lock. Now this one's a couple of decades old. I've never had it sharpened. It's just a workhorse. You buy good quality stuff, the value's there. This one cuts a 45 lock miter, and I'm going to make a video and show you how to do it. It's so easy to set up. Once you get it dialed in, you set it up and it does both sides of the cut. They're different, but it does both sides without changing any settings. So it takes a few minutes to set it up the first time, and then you can run all your material through it, both on the flat and on the vertical, and get a perfectly matched joint that's super strong. I use this for wrapping porch posts and deck posts where we use like 4x and 6x treated and we wrap them with tight knot cedar. You can run that through. So a lot of exterior, but I think most people use these in the woodworking shop to make drawer joints and box joints. It's just a beautiful way to do it. Any bit that I can find in CMT that I'm buying new this nowadays, I buy CMT. I like them. They just work well for me. Obviously, this one's great. I don't remember the brand. It's held up, but CMT is of that level that they just are beautiful stuff. This bit from CMT, it's a 2-inch bit, so it's big, a lot of carbide. It's 8687. It's a drawer lock bit. I use this one a lot less, but it's one of those, if you run in a situation where you want this, then it's hard to beat. So when you build a drawer and it doesn't have another face on it, a finished face, where the drawer itself is the finished face, this will create a locking joint that is invisible from the front, the way you cut it. And not only that, but you can cut the back and the sides all with, just like this one, you set it up one way and it cuts the flat and the vertical without moving anything. So once it's dialed, it's really easy to use. But you can also do the sides and the back, and then you can change the spacing to do the front and move it in, so you can move the sides in with this so that it'll hide the hardware. So it's really nice. You'll find a lot of fine finish furniture makers where they don't want to have a false front, a finished front. They want the whole drawer to be handcrafted, and this is one way to do that. Again, I don't use this one nearly as much, but it is a nice tool to have if you're a woodworker, finish guy. And the one that I like, again, CMT 3785. Tape measure. Every carpenter's got to have about a dozen of these. This is my go-to. This is, it's not the one that I frame with, but everything else I do, all my finish work, all my work in the wood shop, I have got one of these fast cap that are metric standard. I love these things. I love the rule. In fact, this is the same rule that I get, except flat, that's on all of the Polk Smart tools. It's the rule that I buy from Fast Cap to stick on here, and it's, if you buy the plans, that's what's on the list. It's linked to one of those. I love the way they read, and this one I like because it's got metric on one side, standard on the other, and it's got all of the measuring points that you've grown to love with the standard system, the inch marks, the fractional marks, the 16 inch marks, the diamond 19.2 marks. All of those are there. And then on the metric side, you have the hundreds that are in red, and then you have all of the millimeter tick marks, and then you have the little diamond marks every 32 millimeters, the standard 32 millimeter system. Whether you use standard or metric, or you cross, like me, use both, this is just a really handy rule to have. $6.99. Now that is a bit of a low price right now. Normally they are about $11.99. So it may be that when you go there, but the link right now goes for $6.99. In addition, I use it a lot, is it has a writing surface, this white surface. You can write this, what your dimensions are, and then just a great little pad that you've always got with you, and then you just erase them off. And then if you use that size pencil, it's got a pencil sharpener in it as well. I don't use that often, but it's there. Another fast cap tool. Now this one is a little bit quirky, but I like it. It's kind of an artisan accent. In fact, that's what they call it. When you put a screw in, or you put together a piece of wood, two pieces of wood with another piece of wood, a square hole, you tap in the peg, square peg. You can either cut them flush, or you can let them stick out and they can be beveled off. Really a craftsman look. This lets you do that with these little plastic caps. Drill your screw hole in, countersink your screw, and then with this little chisel with the 4 tips, it goes right over the screw head. You tap it, and then this just taps on. And the cool thing about it, if you want to have sort of that artisan look, but you want to be able to disassemble it later, then you can just pop these off and pull the screw out. So I like it. you know, I like, you know, as a craftsman, I like building things from scratch with my hands. But, you know, a lot of times things like this are just really handy to give that little kiss of you know, craftsmanship on something that maybe, you know, it's just that little extra bit. Apple AirTag. Okay, this is not a woodworking tool, but this is one of those tools that you'll find useful no matter what your profession. These track wherever your stuff is. So if you've got your tool truck, your trailer, your van, you toss one or two of these around in there in hidden places. There's no monthly subscription. You just purchase them and turn them on, and then you can find out where they're at. They use the whole iPhone system out there, and they talk to any iPhone or device that's an Apple device that comes near, and it says this is where it's at. I like these. I have a couple in my trailer. I have one in my truck, one in the car. I have them in my camera bags, and I have one in my wallet. Had I had this one in my wallet 3 years ago, I could have paid for a couple of sets of these. These are $86.88 for a package of 4. And again, there's no monthly subscription. You can buy one for about $27, $28. And again, just a great bit of security if you want to find your stuff if you lose it or it disappears. Finally, the last tool on the list. This is an interesting tool. I did not know how great this tool was. I learned from somebody else. When I was trying to put together this list, I also went online and looked at those YouTube videos like the 10 tools I wished I would have bought when I first started my business, or the top 10 tools, you know, those kind of things. Just because I wanted to be I wanted to get outside of myself and see what people were experiencing. And somebody showed this tool and I went, I've got that tool. And they showed how to use it and I went, oh my goodness. I wish I'd have known what this did. It came in a kit I got. It's from UJK and it's called a combined chamfer reamer tool. The smart wood shop, the smart workbenches, the 20 millimeter holes, the system that's been industry standard since World War II. This makes them better. And how does it do that? Well, whether you build the bench yourself with the parf guide, you get the holes perfect. They're 20 millimeters, they're perfect angles, they're perfect spacing. I don't know if the wood moves or contracts on this. This one's built on a CNC, and I have found that some of the holes can be a little bit tight, like that. So they're cut on a CNC. They are 20 millimeter, but if you put a caliper on it, you're never going to notice. But so here's a bench dog, and you go to put it in, and it'll fit, but you can see that I'd have to work it in, and it's really tight. And this one's got, it's a big one, so it's easier to pull in and out. But let's go to, see that, how it goes in. It's nice and snug, but it comes in and out. That's the way you want them. Well, over time, maybe these swell up a little bit. Maybe you get a little glue in them. Whatever, you want to clean them up. This is going to drill the hole, but it's going to make the hole perfect and clean. So you put it in your drill. And again, I'll pick this hole and I'll show you. So this one fits, but you can see that it's tight. Okay. So now I'll take this. So there's not any sawdust really. It just kind of just sort of almost polishes it. But now it drops in. And that's what you want. You want it snug, but you want it to work. So do that again here. So you can see that one, it'll drop in, but it's just a little tight. So take this. And now it's perfect. This is fantastic. I mean, for ongoing with the benches, keeping them tuned up, this is a great tool to have. And it is, TSO sells it. It's $47.95. It's a UJK tool, so you can also get it if you're not in the US, and you can go directly to UJK. Now, I don't want to say more important, that's the most important thing, because you don't want to sit there and hassle with trying to push those in every time. That's just nice. And it's quick. You can do the whole bench in a couple minutes. But here's the big advantage. When we make these benches, whether we do them with the Parf Guide yourself or whether we make them with our CNC, the holes are flat on the edge. They're kind of square edge. And I, in my assembly video, show you how to take a router bit, 45, just barely, and just, in fact, mine are already cut. This is the bench I showed you in the video. It's how I've done all of my benches, just real quick with the router. Well, this has the chamfer. I can't do it because all of mine have the chamfer, but it has the chamfer. So at the same time that it's just cleaning up the hole and making it just perfect, then it's also cutting the chamfer. So I would recommend, whether you build the bench yourself with the Parf Guide or whether you buy the bench, go ahead and order one of these and just keep it. It'll be forever a great tool that, again, you can just make sure the holes are just that, that perfect size, and they stay that way, and cut that chamfer at the same time. You'd be cutting the chamfer anyway, so you're not really increasing your workload. What smart Christmas list would be complete without at least one item from the Smart Woodshop itself? I chose the Polk Smart Cart this year because the Polk Smart Bench is now available to purchase in knockdown form, but we don't have the Smart Cart available yet. We're working on it, but it takes a lot of time to get them out there so that we've got them perfected. We can box them up and ship them out. So this brand new bench that's just gorgeous, it needs to be on wheels. That is the best upgrade that I've made. The most influential thing I've done to the whole system is put everything on wheels to make it mobile. Talked about that ad nauseum. So I put that on the list. It's $10. You go there, purchase it, you download it, and you can just gift it as a digital gift that they can open up. You can print it if you want, but I highly recommend sticking with it just on your phone or on your tablet. It's the best way to use them. Save a little paper and a little ink. Chris put this list together in a convenient form. Go to thesmartwoodshop.com. There's a link in the description of this video down below. There you can click on the list and pick the tool that you're looking for. It'll take you right there so you can purchase it and have it just in time for Christmas. Mele Kiliki Maka from the Smart Woodshop.